Thank everybody for joining us today for an update around our release 5.2 software release that is due for availability at the end of this month. It's been a release that we've been working on for quite a while, and as you'll see, there's a lot of new capabilities that have been added in the 5.2 release. Some of these capabilities we've kind of patched in as kind of little one-offs on earlier releases, but we've kind of brought them all back into the main line of software. And I think that you'll all see that there's a lot of new functionality that we're adding. With us today from CCT is Stefan Dans, who is one of our senior solution architects, and he's going to be handling the second half of today's call, giving a deep dive demo into some of the new capabilities. Also on the bridge with us today is Uwe Kruder, who is one of the owners of the company. And with that, we're going to kind of jump forward. Just as an introduction of myself, it's kind of there on the cover slide, but my name is Duke Bond. I'm the Director of Sales for CCT here in North America. And again, thank you all for joining and look forward to discussing some of these capabilities with you all in the near future. So as we, communicated that one of the main topics for today is to talk about the new 5.2 capabilities and support integrations with Avaya. But we also want to give a glimpse into the roadmap beyond the 5.2 release and what we've got planned for the 6.0 release, planned for the very end of this year. We're still trying to finalize some of the details around those capabilities, and we like to be customer driven. So, if you or your customers have feedback on any of this, we like to kind of drive our roadmap based upon specific customers needing specific capabilities. After we go through a couple of slides here, I'm going to spend 5 or 10 minutes just doing a couple of slides, and then Stefan's going to jump in and go through a deep demo. So one of the big capabilities that we've added recently is around the SMS integration for inbound routing and queuing. We've had SMS capabilities within our software to be able to send, and we're now routing and queuing that inbound that inbound SMS, and distributing it just like we would distribute a web chat or distribute an email, just like a voice call is distributed by the ACD. But with email and chat and SMS, the ContactPro application is actually the one doing the routing, and then we coordinate that routing with the voice handling by the configuration of that ContactPro environment and for the different teams, and whether you want those different channels to be blended together or have one have priority over the other. So that's all configurable, and Stefan will touch on that a little bit, also talk to you about how that's done. Similar to the SMS gateway integration is the ability to do WhatsApp integration. So WhatsApp is much like a Facebook or a Twitter or a Skype kind of IM application, but it can also be used for phone and videoing. Sometimes people in the US maybe haven't been as exposed to it as people outside of North America, where WhatsApp is heavily used. WhatsApp, I believe, is actually owned by Facebook these days. Similar to WhatsApp, we do have Facebook and Twitter integration. So customers can go onto Facebook Messenger, Twitter direct messaging, and they can submit requests for customer help through these messaging applications. And all of these messaging applications are going to render and present themselves to the agent in the same way as a web chat. So it doesn't really matter whether it's SMS, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, traditional web chat. The agent's going to have the same kind of screen pop that gets presented to them. They're going to have the same kind of response templates available to them. There's going to be the same kind of journey map logging of the activity, and access to past chat or messaging interactions. All of that information will be the same regardless of what specific messaging interaction channel is being used. Another nice capability, the next three, the scheduled callback from web, agent desktop, and the blended preview outbound dialer, they're all very related. Once we have the ability to distribute work items, we realize that, well, why don't we distribute a request for an agent to make a callback, and then we present that agent with the ability to make that callback. And whether that request for that callback came by an agent entering the callback date and time right from the agent desktop, or whether that came from a customer out on the web saying, hey, can someone call me tomorrow at 3 o'clock? It doesn't really matter. Or it can just be a list of customers that need to be called, and we can blend that outbound calling in coordination with the inbound calling, so that if your organization has a list of outbound calls that needs to be done every day, but the priority needs to be focusing on the inbound handling, we can do those blended outbound calls when the inbound queues are empty or when the service levels reach a certain point. So there's a nice way to do that without putting in a full-fledged proactive outreach manager POM auto dialer. If you want to do predictive dialing, then you definitely need something more sophisticated like that proactive outreach manager, where we do have an agent desktop integration with that Avaya POM system. We have a new agent scripter capability that's very much kind of tied in with typically outbound, but it can be used for inbound. It could be used for chat also if you want, but it's definitely more favored towards, an outbound where sometimes agents need a little bit more coaching and guidance on how that call should be handled. We've enhanced our connectors. We've done integration recently with Remedy, ServiceNow, in addition to the Salesforce, Dynamics, and SAP integrations that we've already had. Part of the web chat capability, something that we added, was the ability to tokenize the collection of personal information, and we've also gone through a PCI compliance certification process. So those are all nice capabilities that we feel really make our solution very valuable to our customers and to our partners. From an integration perspective, we recently certified our software against the Communications Manager and AES Release 8, but we still do support 5.2, 6.x, and 7.x for those customers that haven't quite yet upgraded. From a CMS perspective, there's certain aspects of our software where if you integrate to CMS, there's a little bit of value add. We support both CMS 18 and 19 now. And then from a POM perspective, we've recently certified against the POM 3.1.1 release. The Avaya Breeze client, the SDK, provides a SIP soft phone media termination functionality for those that don't want a physical hard phone. So our desktop application can be the physical phone at this point. And then as part of the latest release of software, we're now certified against the Avaya Interaction Center 7.3.8 release and the EMC 6.5 and 6.6 releases. In those environments, we act as the agent desktop instead of using the out-of-the-box desktops from Interaction Center and EMC, and that ContactPro desktop provides some additional functionality to the agents that the out-of-the-box Avaya desktops don't offer. Not sure how many people have customers that are using AIC or EMC, but that's really where our foundation of our platform started, was as being that agent desktop on top of those applications. And then over time, we've added more feature functionality where we're routing and queuing contacts ourselves, and where we're adding new channels like SMS, WhatsApp, and those other ones that we've added. We also have the ability to integrate the co-browse module from Avaya Breeze for customers that want to share for agents that want to be able to share their screens with customers. And that could be a customer on a voice call. It could have been an inbound voice call where I meet that customer and start sharing, but it could have been like an inbound web chat request where I maybe want to share a screen and help guide a customer through a certain web page or through a certain process so that they learn how to do it themselves. And then the last thing that we've been working on, and we're really kind of working with Avaya closely on, is the Avaya Oceana environment, where just like with the Interaction Center and EMC environment, we can be that agent desktop on top of an Avaya Oceana routed environment. And what this does, it provides customers a kind of a migration path into the future at some point to migrate at their own pace. You don't have to move to Oceana all at once. You can maybe move some of the routing and queuing of certain groups and contact channels over to Oceana, but you can keep a common desktop across both your call center elite and your Oceana environments, because we can integrate to both simultaneously. An agent would have to be in one world or the other, but you could have some agents that have moved over to Oceana, and you could have some agents that are still call center elite. So we're trying to provide a nice migration path for those customers as they decide they want to move to Oceana in the future for the routing and queuing of voice and potentially other contact channels. From a 6.0 perspective, one of the things that we're excited about is our integration with chatbots And you're going to see a little bit of that today on what we've done with one of our customers. And a big part of that, just like when you automate customer voice calls in an IVR platform, customers expect to be able to press 0 to get out to a live agent. Customers want the same thing with a chatbot. When I'm chatting with a customer service, when I click to chat, I'm okay with them sending me to a chatbot. But at some point, if I basically want help, I want to be able to get out of the chatbot and get to a live agent. And I want that contextual transfer of information sent to that agent so that they don't prompt me for information like, who are you? Why are you contacting me? But then also at the end of that interaction, I want to make sure I'm logging that information. So we are basically working with Cognigy, their conversational AI, artificial intelligence kind of back-end knowledge base. And then they have chatbot functionality built in, but then we're working with them so that we can do that contextual transfer. But we're also doing integration with Google Dialogflow and IBM Watson so that you have a choice, because different chatbot applications probably work better with different AIs. I'm not an expert in AI, but I can envision certain environments providing better knowledge base and kind of problem solving with different tools. So we want to give customers the flexibility. Much like WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and Twitter messaging, we're going to be enabling Apple Business Chat support. So we've got the contracts in place. We've gotten the approval from Apple to get their specs, and we're working on development of that support. The SMS capabilities, we want to complement that later this year with the ability to do outbound SMS campaigns. That could be a reminder of an appointment, could be a reminder of a past due balance or a policy renewal, whatever the reason. There's lots of reasons nowadays that people would rather get an outbound SMS message as opposed to an email when it's something that is relevant to me. I don't want spam coming into my my text messaging on my phone, but if it's something relevant, I'm okay with an SMS message. Similarly, we want to be able to enable outbound email campaigns to complement our inbound email routing and queuing. Real-time speech analytics, we're doing some integration with Verint. Avaya also has something that we haven't started work on it, but we're looking at it. The Spoken acquisition has a conversational intelligence, ACI, Avaya conversational intelligence, that we're kind of looking at. Maybe that makes sense to bolt in. And what it does, it allows in real time an agent to get alerts like, hey, customer should be notified about this or that based upon specific words that the customer is saying. And that could also be an alert to a supervisor saying, hey, this agent's kind of in trouble. So we can embed that capability into the agent desktop to allow them to do a better job. And another big push in 6.0 is to improve some of the reporting and templates, and also the back-end processing around our ContactPro analytics reporting. As some of our customers get larger and the database gets larger, we need to do some processing improvements there. So that's at a very quick high level. I took a few more minutes than I promised Uwe and Stefan that I would, but with that, I want to turn things over to Stefan to kind of take you through a visual view of some of those new capabilities. And then again, if you have questions, submit the questions through the GoToMeeting, and then I think maybe at the end we will open up the group for additional follow-up questions. So Stefan, I am making you presenter.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Thanks for the introduction, Duke. Now, in the next couple minutes, I will show you some of the new features as well as channels getting introduced in ContactPro Release 5.2. On my screen, we can already see our agent being logged into ContactPro client, acting as a Omni-Channel agent desktop. We can see all the channels that we are able to handle with our ContactPro solution, like inbound voice, web chat, email, SMS, and social media, as well as outbound. Our agent is already handling an email as well as a Facebook contact at the moment, and we can see an email with the related screen pop to Salesforce within the application, as well as the Facebook chat contact with a BMC Remedy screen pop. And it can be any CRM or ticketing tool that can be embedded and integrated in here. It can be even a homegrown one that our customers bring with them. Now, coming to the new channels and features next to email and Facebook contact that we already have assigned to this agent, I will switch over to the more modern channels like WhatsApp. So we've got our customer contacting us through WhatsApp, and we can see customer sends a message to the CCT channel, and our agent is getting this WhatsApp contact and can get in direct contact with our customer texting via WhatsApp. We can see the email and the Facebook contact got to pause status automatically, and now this agent can handle the WhatsApp. So we can get into the conversation, say, "Hi, Stefan, how can I help you?" And this customer is saying having trouble. And what is the best way nowadays to share an issue? It might be just taking a picture and send it over. So what I will do is I will take a picture and will ask this agent, "Why is this line green?" Okay, I will send this over, and our WhatsApp channel and module is also supporting embedded pictures. So there is no need for the agent to switch to a external application. He can just get and receive pictures or videos or voice messages that have been created by the customers through WhatsApp. And now the agent can have a look into this and can directly react. Okay, I see. And then it can go forward. Other than WhatsApp, we could also handle traditional SMS. So let me just close out this WhatsApp contact and let my customer switch over to SMS. Same here, I can say, "Hi, CCT," and it's the same way. We're just getting a SMS contact into the system, and my agent is answering this SMS contact, and same story. The agent can get into direct contact with the customer, can answer in free text, but with all the channels like email, WhatsApp, or SMS, they could not only use free text answers, but also predefined text. So there could be different templates for email responses, which might be longer, but also predefined text for SMS or WhatsApp channel to have a more compact predefined answer. So those are the new two new channels based on SMS. It's WhatsApp, it's SMS, traditional SMS itself. But of course, we also still support web chat. So how do we do web chat? It's it can be done in still the traditional way. So you can have a web chat button on your website, or it's in your mobile application, and it could pop a so-called pre-chat survey where your customer can leave the information we need to handle this contact, like the first name and last name, email address, what is the question, what is the customer number, maybe for automatic identification, and he can select a department or any other predefined route. And a more modern way to do this might be a combination of web chat and chatbots, so AI, kind of AI. So this example is from one of our German customers, and we've built that together with them and together with our partner, Cognigy. And instead of using the traditional chat button, we've got a new button down here, and it will start with a chatbot communication instead of directly transferring the chat contact into the contact center and send it over to an agent. As this chat transcript is in German, I will try to explain what's going on here. So this chatbot is first, of course, welcoming our customer and then asking for what kind of furniture, because this is a website about furniture, which kind of furniture I'm interested in. Today, I'm interested in a bed, and this is like a visual IVR guiding me through a transcript. And since I've chosen bed, it's now asking me what kind of price range I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bet between 100 and 800 bucks. And then it's showing me some samples that I can choose from. And this one looks pretty good. So I'm selecting this one. And then it's requesting how I would like to pay. Today, I would like to pay on bill. So in this, now the chatbot is going forward and collecting data. We don't really need an agent for this standard stuff. So we don't need an agent asking for first name, asking for address, and maybe email address. So this can all be done by a self-service like a chatbot. Now, it's also asking me if I'm interested in a newsletter. Yes, I am. I'm also interested in some kitchen. And then we can get to a point, and you may notice from a voice IVR, from a traditional voice IVR, we can always say agent. We can always say help. Same with a chatbot. A chatbot can listen to keywords, phrases, and it can be done with some kind of AI. In this situation, the chatbot is asking, "Can I do anything else for you?" At this point, my customer is saying, "Yes, I need help," or I could say agent, but it must not be at this position at the end of the chatbot transcript. It can be at any time. I could always say help, like I can do in a voice IVR. Now, as I said, help. It's requesting, "Do you want me to send you over to an agent?" I say yes. And as soon as I said yes, it's transferring the chat into the queue. And as my agent is enabled to get chat contacts, I can answer this web chat in here. I'm automatically getting a related screen pop into Remedy to open up the ticket, or maybe to Salesforce to open up the contact details, and I can get into the chat conversation. Now, my agent can directly chat with the customer, as you can see, and all the data that has been collected in the chatbot to customer communication can be transferred over to the agent. In this case, we're just showing 3 samples, like the first name, last name, and the customer number that our customers shared with us, but it can be any information, like this customer was interested in which kind of which type of furniture, or what was the model of the bed he has chosen, or what was the price range, what is the information about a credit card, whatever. It can be any information that has been automatically collected in the chatbot, so the agent does not need to ask again. Now, with this chat view, I can show you real quick the flexibility of the agent layout. So I could have this chat conversation via easy drag and drop set over to the left, and I can have a kind of a splitted view to have my chat conversation on the left and the related ticket or contact details on the right. So this is what we call create your own desktop. It's one of the main features of the client. It's not a new one, but I just wanted to point out again. Of course, in every situation, our agent, next to the email that is assigned to him, next to the Facebook contact, next to the chat contact, this agent could also still get a voice call. In most of the situations, voice calls are still the highest priority in case of if you compare your channels. But this can be flexible and based on your configuration of thresholds. So it's either voice calls are always high priority and will be sent over to agents. Doesn't matter if they already assigned to email, Facebook, and chat. So I'm now getting the ACD call, and all the other 3 contacts are getting in pause state. But your system can also be configured to, if example, if my agent's already handling 2 chats at the same time, we will make the agent not available for incoming or waiting voice calls. But it can be changed based on thresholds. So if there are more than 10 calls waiting, the status can be changed automatically. Now, as we are in this call, we can see the soft phone that has been grayed out before because there was no active call is now active. And our voice engine can either be synchronized with your hard phones in H323 or SIP mode, or you can use ContactPro as a standalone SIP phone, SIP soft phone, or H323 soft phone with media termination. Of course, all the data that is being created by the channels or the agent activity will be transferred over to analytics. So we can have a real-time dashboard for supervisors to control the intraday. We can have real-time data about our agent status, but also graphical data about our queues, how many contacts are waiting in email or in web chat, in WhatsApp queue, in voice queue, and you can have different kind of graphics. But of course, we've also got historical data. Like this is a queue report based on a daily base. We can have queue data, we can have agent data, we can have group data, but also individual and custom reports. And you can see some of our data for email and web chat queues on a daily base in a tabular view. This data, of course, can also be extracted to external database or WFO systems automatically every day, every couple minutes or hours, or supervisors and reporting people can go ahead and manually export to Excel, CSV, and PDF. This data, of course, can also be displayed in a more graphical way. So this is an example of a queue report in an interval base. So you can see every 15 minutes how many contacts have been queued and how many contacts have been established. And our graphical views are enhanced with some modern Google graphic features to have some kind of mouse over features. So you can see I can mouse over each individual interval to get some more details out of it. This was a pretty quick overview of some of the new features and channels that we are introducing in 5.2. And I think, Duke, it's now time to open the bridge for questions.
Yeah, this is Uwe Kreuter speaking again from my side. Thanks for joining our webinar today. I saw a couple of questions specifically related to the SMS integration. Basically, our API where we do the SMS gateway integration is a pretty open API, and so far we have started with different SMS gateways because in the real world, typically customers select the SMS gateway that gives them the, let's say, the best rate for sending out SMS. And around the world, we have seen quite a lot of different pricings. So since our product is used in Asian countries, in North America, in Japan, in China, in Switzerland, in Germany, in the UK, in the Netherlands, we always have to watch out what is the SMS cost that is related to the gateway pricing. So in the United States, we have seen pricings of less than half a cent for an outbound SMS. In other countries, we sometimes see 8 cents or 15 cents for outbound SMS. So that brings us to the point that we open to integrate with local SMS gateway providers. We just did one in Switzerland. We integrated with the big ones like Twilio, for example, Zang from the Avaya side, as well as others that are open. The same is true for WhatsApp. So WhatsApp charges for an amount of messages. So you have to watch out when WhatsApp is implemented that there is a package for up to 100 or 250,000 WhatsApp messages per month that it's been charged by the WhatsApp solution provider, which are different companies around the world. So there's, for example, Twilio. There's other companies in Europe that provide these WhatsApp and SMS gateway capabilities. That's just a question I wanted to briefly explain. Duke, are there other questions? From my point of view, that's about it for today. We have no more questions in the chat window, so I give it over to you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Stefan, for the demo. That's all we had for today. We just wanted to give a quick update on 5.2 and kind of what's happening beyond 5.2. The bridge we have set up is set up for outbound audio only, so unable to open the bridge for inbound voice. But if somebody would like to submit other questions, we'll stay online for just a moment, or you can always contact me. I think many of you have my phone number, but I'll go back to the main slide and share that also with my contact information.